Hello guys and welcome to a new Wargame video today by me Vulcan. Today I have for you a 1 versus 1 on Plunjing Valley, and it's something a bit different from my normal commentaries because this is a competitive one. We're going back to the competitive ones for the next couple of weeks, and that's because I have a series of replays from the economy tournament. If you haven't heard about the economy tournament, please feel free to check the links in the description below, which will take you to the forum post, which will have all the rules and all the discussion around the tournament. Now, the economy tournament was made to bring light to the game mode economy, and it's something that's not really played a lot on Wargame because it's very unpopular within the community, mainly because a lot of people don't really understand how to play it, and it can often cause a lot of camping, which isn't favourable gameplay in any case. You know, camping in Wargame is like probably one of the most boring things you could do, and this game mode can often enforce that. Anyway, for those of you who don't know how economy works, basically your reinforcement points are your score. So on the right you'll see that at the start of the game they each had 1,500 points. Obviously they got a command vehicle out of that as well, so it'll be about 1,380 odd points, and then they spend those points in order to bring in units, and that will take away from their score because the reinforcement points are the score. Now obviously you could spend only half your points and be at an instant lead at the start of the game, but if you can't defend because you don't have enough units, that's completely pointless. So you'll see both players have spent all of their points pretty much at the start of the game. Random spending slightly less than Patton, but well, actually never mind. He's taken it all the way down to only 15 points. And I think both players, if I'm not wrong, have invested in 4 command vehicles at the beginning of the game, including the one they get from the start. Yes, it looks to be that way. So a lot of emphasis is put on capturing sectors, almost more so than in Conquest. In Conquest you can get away with like leaving a sector for a while and not taking it over immediately because you can just spend points on other things, but in economy it's incredibly important that you don't let your opponents capture bases, so you will always neutralize them at the start of the game in order to make sure that the game doesn't get out of hand. It's also incredibly important to recuperate any reinforcement points you spend as quickly as possible. But I've just paused it here so that we can have a quick look over the units that each player is using before they spread out too much. So we have Patton on the blue team with a Eurocore deck by the looks of things. He's got 4 Fuchs here, probably with Jaegers. We've got 2 Mistrals on trucks. Then we've got the Leopard 2A4 there with an Iltis Kado. We've got a Gazelle cannon for recon. In the center there is 2 Flak Panzer Gepard A1s. We've got 4 M113s, maybe with Jaegers, but I'm sure he would have brought in Fuchs if they were. But we'll see. 3 Leopard 2s and an Iltis Kado. And over on this left side for Patton, he has 4 Fuchs with Jaegers probably, the VLRA Mistrals, a Leopard 2, and 2 AMX 13 VTTs with probably Milan 2s in them. Then we've got an Iltis Kado there to accompany that. Over on the red team, we have a American deck. And on this side, we're starting with, is that 4 Humvees with s'mores, most likely? M35 with maybe Rangers, an M113 with probably Riflemen, M48A3 Chaparral, and a Humvee CP. A Humvee CP starting in the center for random, accompanied by 4 more Humvees with s'mores, some more M113s with Riflemen. We've got an M35 with probably Rangers, and an M60 tank. And then we have the AH-1J Cobra here, nice recon helicopter, and over on the left the LAVC2 Command 6, or is that actually 8 M113s with riflemen, 2 M1IP Abrams, V150 with the Navy SEALs, an M48A3 Chaparral, and an M109-7 Avenger. Yeah, there you have it. Maybe you might have noticed how both players are using extremely similar strategies, having task force going to each of the sectors, almost equal task forces. Over on Patton's side, it looks like the majority of his forces are going left. That's where he's put the majority of his points, I think, to head towards Alpha. Whereas on the red side, he's putting it actually on his left and moving up this road towards Foxtrot. So it'll be interesting to see if this causes a major unbalance on this map, because the blue side will be pushing up through Alpha and the red side will be pushing up through Foxtrot. And it may cause like a skew in the map, but we'll have to wait and see. Random's Avenger fired a shot off at this Gazelle cannon. I wouldn't be surprised to see it move back completely, but it wasn't. So it was taken out by the Chaparral and the Avenger together. This V150 has managed to get all the way up into this complex, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them dropped out. Yep, the Navy SEALs there with their very good recon. Always useful. The 4 Fuchs got in on this side in the forest. There'll be a threat attacking into Foxtrot. But it looks like Random's going for a push with his M113s into this forest, whilst Patton's making a very large push through the centre actually with these Leopard 2s. Leopard 2A4 taking out one of the M113s. The M1IP Abrams taking out one of the Mistrals. So the Mistral is going to have to get out of there so it doesn't get destroyed by the machine guns of the M113s. We've got a Nighthawk actually coming in very early on from Random. And I guess that's going to be going for the Leopard 2A4 here. Yes, it's dropped both of its bombs. And boom. Wow. That was spectacular. That was a very large explosion, my lord. Took out that Leopard 2A4, completely neutralized it, and it seems to have forced Patton to make a move in the center here. So, these 4 small squads, not completely spaced out properly. These 2 small squads aren't even in this compound. Little bit of a miss micro there from Random. If he isn't careful, they're going to get taken out very easily by the Leopard 2s before they even make a difference in this area. Panzer Grenadiers there already locking them down, making them stunned, completely useless. They really need to be moved into this compound to stop the advance of those Leopard 2s. Over on this side, the overwhelming number of M113s, along with the M1IP Abrams, have actually completely occupied the forest near Foxtrot. Meanwhile, the Jaegers trying to be pushed towards this compound with the Navy SEALs and Riflemen occupying them. But the major push still coming in here. Riflemen were moved into this compound, leaving the S'mores completely out in the open, which I think is a strange choice. However, he is trying to use the Riflemen to pin down the Panzer Grenadier squads. And I think that's what he's prioritizing here. The Leopard 2s advancing, and it looks like he might take out the small squad there. The M1 IP Abrams engaging with these heavier tanks, the Leopard 2A4. But M1 IP actually took out the Marder 2 there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that try and flank the Leopard 2A4. He's got to be careful with that. The Riflemen are doing a little bit of damage there. Over in the centre, you know, we've got these Leopard 2s making long-range shots onto these small squads. Once they're taken care of, the Panzer Grenadiers are going to be able to move up and take that sector, unless they get taken out by the Riflemen in the meantime, and the M113 here isn't helping out very much. The Jaegers on this side haven't, fared too well. Going up against the Navy SEALs here, as soon as they get in range of that grenade launcher, are going to get ripped to shreds. The M1 IP in this forest has been taken out now, and the Leopard 2A4 was retreated so that it didn't get taken out itself, but with the use of the Fuchs and Jaegers, the M13s didn't stand a chance, and it looks like the riflemen are completely outclassed there. All these Panzer Grenadiers did actually manage to get into this compound, but swiftly taken out by the AH-1J Cobra with its rockets. But now we have the advancement of this Leopard 2. It's got to be careful he doesn't get a side shot from the rifleman. The Flak Panzer Gepard A1 there, nearly taking out this AH-1J Cobra. I'm sure as soon as it comes into line of sight again, he will manage to take that down. But it is going to be flown away, so that's okay. Nice micromanagement there from Random, but Patton still making very, very good progress in the center, except from a Nighthawk has come in, and is it going to take out this Leopard 2? Yes, it is. A perfect hit there. Nicely done. So, it looks like Patton's actually run out of infantry in the middle here. Unless, with that infantry taken out there, he can, occupy that part. AH-64D Longbow brought in. A lot of points being spent on both sides, especially considering this is economy. But basically economy is like you use the most efficient units you can get. And as long as Random, kills more than that costs, an AH-64D Longbow is a good investment. It's just that if it gets shot down by one of these VLRA Mistrals, then he's going to be having a bad time. Oh, the Prowler coming in there, managing to, take out one of the Gepards? Yes, it did. And now this Leopard 2A4 being advanced towards this M1 IP Abrams. That's not going to stand a chance. And neither is this Avenger as it gets one shot. The AH-64D Longbow coming across. Managed to destroy the Fuchs there, but didn't get a hit onto the Leopard 2A4. The Jaegers advancing onto this compound to reveal the Navy SEALs, but it also revealed the Leopard 2A4 shooting at the Navy SEALs, which gave the AH-64D an awesome kill there. Leopard 2A4 going down to the AH-64D Longbow has definitely made it worth bringing that in. Low on ammo, probably going to return to base. So, Foxtrot still very much in contention here, but it seems that Random's kind of on the back foot. He's spent just as much points and he's got a worse positional advantage at the moment. Very interesting to see how little he has in Alpha as well. Wow, he's getting away with this very easily at the moment. He's only got this one rifleman squad here protecting this command vehicle. He's already decided that it's time to bring in 2 more Humvees with small squads to help defend that. But just look at the map right now. If we zoom right out, you can see that a lot of Random's reinforcements are coming up, yeah, but overall I think Patton has a lot more on the map. It's a lot bigger threat at the moment. Now it's annoying that Patton doesn't have any recon up here, but he can really move all the way up to this town here and scout it out. But then again, even if he did do that, this AH-1J Cobra would probably stop it. Ooh, a Nighthawk coming in here. Bombing out one of the squads of Jaegers there and stunning the Panzer Grenadier 90s. This M1 IP Abrams didn't actually die in the end and is still firing onto these Panzer Grenadiers spotted out by the Navy SEALs. So that's helping out a lot. And it looks like it might get fixed up by this Hempt. The Jaegers and the Panzer Grenadiers being used to attack these Navy SEALs with their long-range machine guns. The MG3 there of the Jaeger, very, very good weapon. The M1 A1HC Abrams there, being used to attack the Jaegers from distance. A couple of small squads though, doing a serious amount of damage to these infantry squads with their missiles. Great thing about small squads is they do have HE power, so they can fire their AT weapons at infantry. But the small squads are interesting because they have extremely good power against infantry that engages them from machine gun range. If they get caught in like assault rifle range, then they are going to get killed. But if they kill off a unit from machine gun range, they'll almost always win, because obviously having a rocket launcher is always very helpful. Now, you did see a unit get destroyed here. Looks like that was a Flak Panzer Gepard A1 taken out by the Prowler. The M1A1 Abrams is being used as fire support to take out the Panzer Grenadier 90s there, but the Peace Rifle failing to kill the Abrams, even though it got 2 frontal hits there with its AT rockets. The AH-1J Cobra being brought over to take care of this AMX-13 VTT finally, that was harassing the rifleman squads of Random. These 2 Humvees and Smalls have reached their destinations, but have been dropped out of their Humvees and are not sitting in buildings. He's done that twice now. Ooh, Marder 2 being sniped from range by the M1 IP. That's been fully fixed up by the Hempt here, as you can see. Longbow being brought over, and is that going to get a snipe onto this Leopard 2? 1 missile did hit. A second, if it does hit, will take that out. Yes, it does. Another kill from this Longbow. Trying to take out those Fuchs as well. And it seems that Random's made a push back onto this compound and taken it out completely now with the rifleman and securing it again for himself. Using the Navy SEALs as recon here will allow his riflemen to make use of their M60. Now the M60 does actually have a range of 980 meters, whereas like a MG3 only has a range of 875 meters. So technically what you can do sometimes is really destroy infantry units from range with the M60. But the Flak Panzer Gepard there being turned off and then on again to hit the Prowler, and the Nighthawk came in though and took out the Mistral. So no kill there onto the aircraft of Randoms, and Patton lost more units. So looks like a bit of a comeback at the moment for Random. This Peace Rifle being brought over. Gonna have a go at this M1 IP Abrams, I presume. But nothing there for it to shoot at, so looks like that's going to be a failed attack, and it's going to be evac'd. Now, it will be available very shortly because it wasn't used at all and is still at full health. So not too much of an issue. M60 being used to clean up a Panzer Grenadier squad there, though. Going to relieve a bit more pressure in the centre. Some more units being swung round by Patton at the bottom here. Another Marder 2 taken out by the M1 IP Abrams, and it also took out the Panzer Grenadier squad, or what was left of it anyway. So it seems that all of Patton's attempts to take out this compound have been completely futile at the moment. Just losing so many men, pushing onto such a fortified position, really needs like a napalm bomber or something to dislodge the men from those buildings, and then he can attack them from range with like the Leopard 2s or something. But he's lost a lot of tanks so far, and a lot of units. Like, the amount of points he's actually lost is ridiculous. All those tanks, like the Leopard 2s that have been taken out by the Nighthawk and by the Longbow, adds up to a lot. Now the M1A1 here, again being taken to very, very low health. Actually, I think that was a different one. I think this M1A1 was repairing, and this one had just come into the field, gets hit by the Peace Rifle again, but not destroyed, left with 2 health after both of those missiles hit the front armor. Not too much of an issue, as long as it's still alive and he can get it fixed up again. M113 here. Not going to be lasting very long unless he can get out of line of sight, which he does. And now this tank's going to be moved up to the small amount of vegetation here in order to get some cover. Oh, gets the first shot onto this Leopard 2A4, and the Leopard 2A4 actually misses. Now we have 9 rate of fire here against the 9 rate of fire of the Leopard 2A4. And with the help of the F4F Peace Shrine, after it's taken a hit from the Leopard 2A4, the M1A1 does go down. So really nice coordinated strike there from Patton to get rid of that pesky M1A1. Be interesting to see if he can do it with the second one that's currently being repaired. Leopard 2 coming across some riflemen in the forest here is going to take them out very easily. M60 is going to be the next thing he finds, probably. Chaparral hitting this CH-53G. Looks like Patton just lost the Fullscreen squad there, and he might lose a second if he's not careful. Panzer Grenadier squad's helping with the M113s as the Leopard 2 takes out the M60. Longbow though, another kill onto a Leopard 2. More infantry being sent towards this compound by Patton. It's making it very easy for Random to defend this. You know, Random's just bringing in the occasional reinforcements in the form of this these riflemen, just holding that for days, you know. What would have been better for Patton is if he was a bit more patient and brought his units all the way around here. Or, you know, brought them over in the open further back so that they were out of range of the infantry in this compound, and then they wouldn't have been affected so hard. But doing it this way, just like attacking from here to here, it's too long for the infantry to run in order to be properly effective. If they could come through this forest, by the time they're engaging with the riflemen, they could use both their assault rifles and their machine guns, and they may even have time to get into the compound itself and contest for that. Oh, the AH-64D Longbow, is he going to get a second shot onto this Leopard 2A4? Luckily it didn't. My lord. Is that another kill there? Yeah! A Gepard A1 gone down to this Prowler. Brilliant kill. Sorry I'm zooming all the way in and out, but I need to make sure that I get the units right. These Panzer Grenadier 90 squads being chewed up by the M1A1 Abrams here, and this M60 is doing work on these Panzer Grenadiers up the top side. Longbow getting another kill, and is going to kill off this M113 as well. Bit of a waste of ATGMs, but you know, there is a Hemp here to resupply it, so no problem. Now it's really hard for Eurocorps to bring in like non-radar units. They can get like the Roland and the Mistral, of course, but it depends if he actually has them on his deck. Maybe what would be good is to have the VBL Mistral, I think it is. The little recon vehicle with the Mistral missile system might be good enough to catch out the Longbow. Looks like Random doesn't want to risk using these Hemps, or wants to keep the Hemps for the tanks to repair, and is sending the Longbow all the way back to base to use the FOB. And you can see this FOB is already like down to half supply, because that's probably just the Longbow using up all those Hellfire missiles. Nighthawk being brought in, using those massive bombs to do a hell of a big amount of damage to Patton's forces. And at the moment, there's no clear winner just yet. It seems that both sides aren't really interested in storing their points just yet. They really need to get like a decent positional advantage on one another before they can think about trying to do that. Now, the way that you can do that is to control one of these side sectors. For instance, if Random decided to attack now because Patton's wasted all his forces attacking, he could like fully grasp Foxtrot by the balls, and then it would be Patton's job to push him out of Foxtrot. And currently, you know, he's already trying to do that and is struggling quite a lot. There's Peace Shrine being brought in. The Avenger is sitting there. Ooh, that's a shot onto this LBTP on the P Shrine. Nice little snipe there. He's going to help beat off this advance. And the M728CV there, getting extremely lucky as the missile goes off target. This Marder 2 should be able to pin down the US Marine 90s here. But Random making a very large push with all of these riflemen and these US Marine 90s, and we've got the M728CV here, which has the 165mm mortar on as its main gun. That's going to do quite a lot of damage to any infantry it encounters, unless it gets taken out by a straight Panzer Grenadier shot. The Prowler there just missing the Flak Panzer Gepard A1. Now, it would be nice to see these Gepard A1s come in with their radar off, you know, so that they don't get sniped so easy, but it seems that Patton is otherwise preoccupied, and there goes another one. They're getting popped left, right and centre, and they're not even being used for anything, you know, he's just losing them for nothing. And now, wow, Random is making a huge push into Delta, and there is really not much defending it. Now Random's going to have to be careful engaging this M1A1 at close range with this Leopard 2A4, because if he wastes a shot onto this Marder 2, and then the Leopard 2A4 gets the first shot onto the M1A1, then it's going to be lights out for the M1A1. But the M1A1 actually got first hit, so it's going to get the second one as well. And at that close range, accuracy is so high, it doesn't even matter. Now, as soon as this M1A1 is reloaded, I'm surprised he's not going to move that forwards and just take out the Marder 2, because it definitely would, you know, kill that immediately. But it looks like he wants to use this M60 instead. Nope, never mind. Looks like Patton made that decision for him. The Chaparral, is he going to get the second shot onto the Peace Line? Ooh, no, not quite. If that had, Patton would have been in a very bad spot. He would have had pretty much nothing to deal with these heavy tanks advancing into Delta. Just as well he got away with that, but it is going to be out of action for a while, only left with 4 HP. This Nighthawk doing work, is coming in again with another strike, likely onto the Marder 2 there. Yeah, that's taken out that. No problemo. That's going to go back to base and resupply. The push is still coming from Random, and Pan's going to have to do something about this very, very quickly. Bringing in some CH-53Gs, extremely expensive. You know, the helicopters themselves are worth a bomb. One of these is worth 20 points, and then the squad inside is worth like 40 points. I think, like VulcanHDGaming 90s. I'm not quite sure how much they're worth, so I'm not going to pretend I know. But, yeah, he just lost another one, basically, to the, was that the Chaparral? I think the Chaparral got taken out, though, by the Marder 2, just a bit too late. Marder 2s aren't going to be easily sniped out by the AH-64D Longbow. Longbow, though, deciding to go for the AMX-13 there. Bit interesting. Random decides to mark out the Iltis Kado. Was spotted by the Longbow now. And if he moved forwards the Longbow, there would be nothing to stop it right now. Only an aircraft, really. Otherwise, there is zero risk. None of these AMX-10s would do enough damage to take down a Longbow. Marder 2 is going to work, though. I think it's going to be important that this Longbow takes those out very quickly. But he's not actually utilising it just yet. The M1A1 needs to get away from the Panzer Grenadier. And the Peace Rhino has actually brought in there, wasted its ammunition, I think. Oh no, not quite. That was a decent target, I guess, to avoid his infantry being destroyed. Prowler being brought in there. No radar targets, though, to look out for. And the Longbow's even being used at, like, auto-cannon range now. And was really nearly taken out by one of these Marder 2s. And come on, surely the Hellfire missiles got to be used here to take out one of them. Well, looks like the 30mm auto-cannon took care of one. And a Hellfire missile took care of the other. VLRA Mistral being rushed over from Foxtrot to counter this Longbow, and I really feel like this Longbow could have been utilised a lot quicker. It has exceptional recon. Surely he's noticed by now that there is no AA. The Prowler came in, didn't spot any radar AA in the middle. You know, he's got to have noticed that he's taken out at least one every time, as if there has been one. But no, and now he's letting the Mistral get into range to take out the Longbow. Mistral stopped to fire at the Prowler. It's given away its position, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Longbow retreat now, but missed an opportunity. Even though he knows that Iltis Cato is there, surely it'd be worth just going and killing it so that he gets a massive advantage in this game. But so far, you know, he is still making good progress with these Navy SEALs and US Marines, so maybe he just doesn't want to risk it. The LVTP is actually taking care of that Mistral, and the Longbow just sits idle. It's really strange. I don't know why he isn't making use of that. Peace Rhine coming in for another run. Well, hit the Longbow with a infrared missile, so it wasn't a complete waste of time. But again, it's just sitting there. Why isn't he using it? The Nighthawk has come in here. Going to be killing off that Iltis Cato, surely. Yep, there it goes. Couldn't get away in time. And the Peace Rhine. Probably a different Peace Rhine. Come in there. Finish off that Longbow for good. Really not sure what Random was doing there. It seemed like the Longbow pilot just fell asleep or something. Yeah. I don't know, maybe he just didn't want to risk it, but by leaving it there he just got it killed, so... Too much micromanagement, possibly. You know, obviously when there's this many units on the field, it is always very hard. Peace Rhine taking 2 hits from the Avenger there, but unfortunately the Avenger not having quite enough power to take out the Peace Rhine. Small squads again. In machine gun range, the small squads beat pretty much everything. And it looks like Patton surrendered in 26 minutes and 56 seconds. And Patton pretty much knew there, as soon as he lost that sector, it would be game over, because Random would be able to both, you know, store enough points to win and continue to reinforce himself at the same time. And Patton would just slowly lose the game. And there you have it. So Random's the victor in the first game against Patton. We'll have to see how the next one goes, because I think each set of players, like in the 1v1, play 2 games against each other. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next one between Patton and Random. That's not completely it just yet. But Random winning with a score of 3,090 to 1,810 losses. And then we've got Patton, obviously the opposite way around, because it's a 1v1. But yeah, you didn't really see an economy victory. At the end, you saw Random having a lot more stored points than Patton, obviously. But at the end of the day, I think the loss of all those Leopard 2s to the things like the Longbows and the Nighthawks really, really hurt Patton's strategy. He was relying a lot on heavy tanks. And with the spam of riflemen to deal with, he had to constantly retreat them. Then he would have to also retreat, obviously, his AA, his Mistrals, and it put them in awful positions to take care of the Longbow and the Nighthawks, and so they could get easy kills onto his tanks. And it was, you know, a nice sort of coordination from Random there to take advantage of the situation he was in. The only thing that, you know, really confused me was the use of the Longbow at the end there. You know, it just sat there and died, which is, you know, strange. Not often you see that. But other than that, you know, both players, reasonable micromanagement skills being shown. Again, Random not really making sure his smalls were in the buildings a couple of times. Kind of annoyed me, but you know, it's easy saying that when you're watching the game back. I must admit, you know, you can't scrutinize everything that these players do, because I'm sure, as all of you know who play Wargame, it is a very hard game to play. And the micromanagement can get pretty insane sometimes, especially when you're trying to micro like 20 units of infantry separately. It can get pretty difficult to deal with. Anyway, I'm going to stop nattering on now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.